birds. Good morning and welcome to Port Chalmers, New Zealand, which is the Dunedin stop. It's very chilly this morning, about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. This should be the coldest city and port stop on this journey because the rest should warm up slightly as we go north. As you make your way into Otago Harbour, you'll see these caves and also these gun emplacements, which were abandoned after World War II, as were all the communication tunnels you see along these hills. The Otago Harbour lies 5 nautical miles from Harrington Point to Port Chalmers where the ship will dock. They have dredged out 13.5 meters so that ships can get in and out. The tugboat has met us about halfway to guide us the rest of the way in. It's time for coffee, it's time for breakfast, let's go. Absolute chaos in the buffet. We opted to get a couple quick omelets and then back to the room to get ready and get on with our day. Whee! At least it's sunny, but it's bouncing off that water. And look at that. They're testing out the lifeboats, putting them in the water. But let me tell you about today. It's a Scottish experience with a castle tour and a brewery. Come to find out, the Scottish actually had a huge settlement here in Dunedin. We're about to head to our meeting point, which is in the theater. We go as a group, get off the ship. Here we go!
Let's go discover a town.
And New Zealand is very strict on seeds, foods, you name it. Don't even bring your coffee cup out onto the pier. So when you check in, they give you these sweet but ugly stickers.
Everybody's assigned a different number for their different excursions.
So now we wait until they call us and we all leave together. After the additional day at sea of not really seeing anything, he was so glad to step foot on land and go explore. How excited are you?
Yeah.
Well, that was unique. They needed 2 volunteers to stay behind because they overbooked the tour. Luckily, 2 people got off. We would make the 15 or 20 minute drive into Dunedin from the port. We just arrived at Speight's Brewing, do a brewery tour, and have some beer for breakfast. We've made it to one of Dunedin's absolute icons, Speight's Brewery. If you ever traveled through New Zealand, you know this place is practically a national treasure. Our tour kicks off here, this massive wall-length timeline that tells the story of Speight's from the very beginning. We're talking over 150 years of brewing tradition right here in Dunedin. You learn how 3 guys named James Speight, William Dawson, Charles Greenslead teamed up way back in the 1870s and built what would become New Zealand's most beloved beer brands. There's everything from the early gold rush days to how Speight's survived the Great Depression to how it became the pride of the South. What I loved about this brewery tour is how visual it is. You're literally walking through the brewery's life story and it makes you appreciate how much tradition goes into every glass they pour. And jumping right into the brewing process itself, you'll see the mash tuns, the giant tanks, and all the behind-the-scenes steps that bring Speight's beer to life. It's fast-paced, super informative, and the guide did an awesome job keeping it fun while packing in a ton of details. And honestly, whether you're a craft beer nerd or you just like a cold one on vacation, it's one of those tours that makes you appreciate the work that goes into every pint. Let's go taste some beer! And now we've made it to the best part, the tasting room. This is where you get to try the full lineup from classic Speight's Gold Medal Ale to some of their seasonal brews and a few surprises you won't find outside the brewery. Alright, time to taste our way through Speight's. Let's dive in. Which one are you trying?
Alright, well so far I've tried the OG, the gold medal one, and then we had the dark one, and now I'm trying the really potent. It's like their guest brewery, the Black Rock, yeah.
That's their strongest one then. Here's a hazy IPA. They said try it before it's gone for good. So is that one? Rather refreshing for hazy.
This one's hoppy. It has a little bit of a citrus taste to it.
After a great tasting and tour, it was time to head out. I got one more picture and video. Woo! Time to go before they eat me. How were those beers?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Hands down, my favorite was probably their original gold medal ale.
We have now left downtown Dunedin and heading out onto the Otago Peninsula, and this drive is unreal. Rolling green hills on one side, coastline and harbor views on the other. Every turn looks like a painting. And what's up this way is Larnach Castle, one of New Zealand's most iconic landmarks, sitting right at the top of these hills. But before we get into the full history of this castle, I'm in for a little surprise performance when we arrive. And I don't even know it yet, but here we go.
Right, so you're all alcoholics?
Yes.
Yes. Do you, ma'am? You're a connoisseur of whiskey, yes? You, sir, you're a connoisseur? And you, sir, you've just volunteered. Free bottle of whiskey for each of you. However, nothing is free in Scotland. Just need you three to give me a wee hand with my haggis ceremony. So, if you'd like to come away in. Yes! Good afternoon! When I go good afternoon, you're supposed to go good afternoon! That was rubbish. I am taking the haggis away. Okay, that doesn't bother you. Any more of that rubbish? No. And I'm taking the whiskey away. No. I have your attention now, do I? I would like to welcome each and every one of you to our beautiful city of Dunedin. Our very Scottish city of Dunedin. Even its name, Dunedin, is Gaelic for New Edinburgh. Now I should tell you all about the Scottish history of this city. How it was settled, 1848. 2 ships set sail from Scotland. 3.5 months at sea. Some of the roughest seas in the world. They arrived here at the wettest autumn on record. No, the biggest question I am always asked is, what the hell is that? The story of the haggis. Have you heard about haggis? No. You've heard of the haggis? You will all know that the haggis is Scotland's national dish. Do you honestly believe that some Frankenstein of a chef takes the heart, the liver and the kidneys of some poor unsuspecting sheep, minces it up nice and fine, mixes it with onions, oats, salt and pepper, takes this mixture, shoves it back in the sheep's stomach? We are required by law to provide you with 3 highly trained professionals for your safety while you're here this afternoon. Now you may believe that these 3 are just part of your cruise ship. Not the case. These 3 have undergone months of specialised training to be here this afternoon. Allow me to introduce them by their proper names. We know her in the business as Wee Jock. Next, I give you a courageous man. I give you a brave man. I give you our man, Shuggy. And last, but by no means least, I give you our man, Big Jessie. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you your 3 haggis bashers. Ah! a toast to the haggis. If you'd like to pay your piper. Next to your sword bearer, otherwise she starts dishing out vasectomies and none of us want that. You put that down there and you help yourself. Those of you who are able to rise, please rise. Now I'd like you all to repeat after me. To the haggis! To the haggis! Slanjabar! Slanjabar! Now, I'm going to give you your first lesson in Gaelic, okay? If anyone in Scotland ever goes Slanjabar, the correct response is Slanjabor. Okay, so, Slanjabar! Slanjabor! Up your kilts. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the pleasure of your company. I do hope the rest of your voyage treats you well, and I do hope we see you back here in our beautiful wee city of Dunedin.
After that hilarious performance, it's time to try the haggis and also eat our lunch provided with a delicious dessert to go with it. Standing here at Larnach Castle, it's crazy to think this entire place was once the personal dream of William Larnach. He was a wealthy banker, politician, and entrepreneur who wanted a mansion unlike anything else in New Zealand, and he built it right here on top of the Otago Peninsula. Construction started in the 1870s and took more than a decade, with master craftsmen brought in from Europe. Larnach spared no expense, importing marble, Venetian glass, and some of the finest materials in the southern hemisphere. He had a fine collection of antiques and definitely some unique pieces of art all around the castle. And I'd like to point out the ceilings. They are absolutely incredible. Hand-carved detailed woodwork, rich European design. Every room felt like a different chapter of the story. But behind all that beauty was a pretty heartbreaking story. Larnach's wife died young, then his daughter, and eventually his personal and financial life collapsed. After his death, the family fractured and the castle was sold off, passing through multiple owners and falling into a long period of neglect. What you get to see nowadays is the result of decades of restoration work. The current owners have poured their lives into bringing the castle back to its original glory, preserving the details, restoring the architecture, and turning it into one of New Zealand's most important heritage sites. And now we make our way to the rooftop. Be mindful of these narrow, spiral stairs as they spin you upwards. This will pay off though, with a full, incredible 360-degree view over the harbor, the coastline, the rolling green hills, and if you look closely and zoom in, you can even see our ship. You can see why Larnach chose this spot. There isn't a better lookout point anywhere in Dunedin. Let's head back down and see some of the gardens. They're beautifully landscaped, peaceful, and honestly just add even more character to the whole experience on this amazing property. And don't forget, check out down these stairs for another amazing lookout. Between the views, the history, and the architecture, it's easy to see why Larnach Castle is one of the most absolute must-see spots in Dunedin. Well, that was a fun little experience. Yes. On to the next spot, or back to the ship, I'm not sure. As we head back toward Dunedin, it's impossible not to notice the city's stunning surroundings, the rolling hills, the harbor, Victorian-era architecture peeking through, and Dunedin itself was founded in the 1840s by Scottish settlers. And right in the middle of all the history is the city's most iconic landmarks, the Dunedin Railway Station, often called the most photographed building in New Zealand, built in 1906 and designed by architect George Trout. Stepping inside, and it's just as stunning. The floors are made of Minton tiles. It is a large floor mosaic made of nearly 750,000 tiles in the booking hall. They feature trains on tracks all throughout. There is an elegant staircase that will take you up to this amazing balcony to have a look down. As we walk through the station to the platform, to my surprise, there is a parked train. Right behind me here is another short excursion, to my knowledge. Takes you to a gorge sightseeing railway from Dunedin. There's not much for passenger service out of Dunedin up to Christchurch and further. That's been done away for a long time now, I guess. It's only sightseeing trains and freight trains that go up the coast, which is a darn shame because from here to Christchurch is pretty scenery. Before heading back onto the bus and towards the ship, pop into the cafe next door. Nothing like a quick pint.
Very
Hazy. Bus leaves in 20 minutes. As we make our way back to the port, Dunedin continues to show off its rail heritage. The tracks weave right alongside the road here, almost hugging the landscape the same way they did more than a century ago. Rail has always been a huge part of this region's identity for decades. These routes connected remote communities, hauled goods from the interior, and carried travelers deep into Otago's rugged countryside. However, nowadays, it's more scenic railroad than anything else. If you look closely coming up, you'll see a train tunnel. The city is known for these historic tunnels carved straight through the surrounding hills. Engineers built them in the late 1800s and early 1900s to keep the rail lines running smoothly through the wild, uneven terrain. Some are short, some stretch surprisingly far, but every one of them helped keep this region moving long before highways existed. And right on cue, looks like we've got to wait while it passes in front of us. Honestly, not a bad delay. With scenery like this and a working rail line right beside the port, it's almost an excursion in itself. However, this is the excursion from the celebrity cruises. Back at the ship. After showing an ID of some kind, preferably your passport, New Zealand will let you back on the boat. Oh yeah, and your room card. That's a big important thing
most
too.
important room card.
As you see, the lines can get pretty long, however they go pretty quick. It's here! It's here! Let's see what we got today. Okay then.
Jeez. Oh, celery. I
And
hate that.
salmon. Squishy, squishy.
Interesting.
And is it a marshmallow?
It doesn't really have much flavor.
Okay. Snacks and decent sunset and a ship loading. Throughout the journey, you may have noticed these pink drinks. They are delicious watermelon margaritas. Hey babe, let's watch Sail Away on the magic carpet. Definitely arrive early or you won't get a good spot like this. And if you're afraid of heights, this might not be the spot for you. But however, this is one heck of a view. You're able to see the side of the ship, the bridge, and more. And as we wait to sail away soon, you'll notice huge stacks of logs along the waterfront. New Zealand's lumber industry is massive here. Unfortunately, deforestation is one of the country's biggest exports, especially some pine. And a lot of it ships out from ports just like this. It's a huge part of the local economy and a big reason these harbors stay so busy. It's unfortunate as we sail out, you see protesters along the waters. I'm sorry to see this, I really am. I wonder what they truly are protesting. Kindly and peacefully, let me know in the comments. As we glide out through the Otago Harbour, the coastline pulls away and evening settles over Port Chalmers. It's the perfect end to an incredible day in Dunedin. And just ahead, there it is, the same lighthouse that welcomed us this morning, blinking us out to sea as we begin the next chapter of our New Zealand journey. Let's eat! Oh look, there's Jamie.
Hi. I didn't feel like dressing up tonight, so it's gonna be a lazy buffet night.
Absolutely.
There's enough stuff to do tonight, but really nothing on our radar.
We'll go to a meeting about what to do in Christchurch. Maybe gamble, maybe pass out, who knows. Indian food night. Pork vindaloo, tandoori chicken, butter chicken, biryani. Yummy.
Everything else, all the things are becoming a problem.
Jesus. Christchurch, here we come.